Hey guys, it's the Three Musketeers back here for Scale Video.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Dana's wearing a special hat today. Do you want to tell us why?
Yeah, I would like to just make a quick comment. Today's a special day.
He cried.
I was in tears this morning. My man, Lewis Hamilton, won the F1 championship this year, so way to go, bud. It was a great year for Mercedes and a great year for Nico Rosberg, but especially for Lewis Hamilton. So awesome, Lewis. Formula 1 championship 2014.
Let's get him to watch ScaleTalk.
I would love one.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
So we're going to talk about some pretty cool scale stuff here today, and you already heard one of the most fantastic sounds I've ever heard come out of an RC car in my life at the beginning of the video, which is, oh, I don't even know if I should touch it. This is so nice.
It's pretty amazing. If you haven't heard this unit, it's amazing. And the good thing is we have our special guest back with us, saying.
Hey guys.
And,
Tamiya expert.
yeah, our Tamiya guy.
Tamiya shirt here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he tends to always have these incredible, whether he's working on a project or picked up a project, he usually tries to make it his own, and we've got some special bits in front of us that we thought we'd show off today.
So, Sang, tell me, what kind of truck is this?
So this is the Tamiya Tundra High Lift. It's one of the three-speed transmission type scale truck by Tamiya that was released about probably 7 or 8 years ago. And this is the Tundra. The other variation is the F350 and the older Toyota style Hilux.
So, you've got not the Tamiya axles on it.
No, this is how it came. I bought this off from a buddy of mine, and this when I got it upgraded is the RC4W K4 axle is called.
That's the Yoda 2 axles.
Oh, okay.
Those are the Yodas, yeah.
Yeah,
Yoda
RC
axles.
4-wheel drive that makes those.
That's right. So give it a little more scale. So they got those Yoda axles.
Yep.
Well, let's touch on that for a moment, because that's really unique, because I own this chassis from Tamiya, which has the 3-speed transmission.
Yes.
And I had those stock, bulky Tamiya axles that were on this. And,
Yep.
you know, for this one to have these RC 4-wheel drive Yodas on it really sort of set it off. I think it's quite special, to be honest.
It's
looks
way
really
better.
neat. Yeah, it really looks good.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Besides the axles, the guys got the RC 4-wheel drive Dick K-Peck rims on it. And, like, I mean, oh yeah, you were saying when you were coming up here that there was a black one of these driving through town, looked exactly the same.
Yeah, I was gonna stop the buddy and said, "Hey, check this one. Check what I have in the truck."
You know, we probably would have bought it from you on the spot, eh, right?
Yeah.
All those guys that have these out there and they see these types of videos are like, oh my god, I've got to have one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one just like this black and it had a skidoo in the back. So if you're watching the video, come and talk to me.
So you got this from a friend of yours,
Yes,
is that right?
yeah.
Okay, so you bought this from a friend of yours,
Yeah.
and obviously this gentleman is quite the scale builder.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of work to it. It looks like there's some quite the light package that's on it. But what's really sort of setting this one off better than the rest? I mean, I know we heard it at the beginning, but it's got what is the unit that's in it?
Yes, it's called the MFC02. So that does everything controlling your speed, all the lights, the sound, of course, and there's a vibrational unit. So as you probably saw at the beginning of the video, the truck is like shaking, and even the whole table is shaking. And so it works well with the speed and the rev of the motor. So as soon as you give the gas, you could hear like a real truck revving up, and the car's the truck's going forward. And when you're shifting gears, you could hear the clicking of the shifter, and so it's that very realistic factor to this truck.
Does that unit also do everything? Like, does it do the ESC work? Does it do everything?
Yeah, so it's
really?
it's the ESC, controls the lights as well. So when you're braking, the brake light comes on, reverse. I can also set it when it turns, a signal light comes on. Also,
so that's like
horn.
It's like the whole radio system all in one.
Yeah.
All the electronics and everything.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
It is actually. I didn't know that. I thought it was just a sound thing that you added on.
It's funny, and we had a conversation about this earlier. When I first heard it, I was like, wow, this thing's incredible. And it wasn't my first time, but it's rare that I do hear these units.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's been a debate, you know, where what do you like better, the sound of the traditional RC car with the whiny little motor and what have you, other than the gas ones that are out there?
They're whiny.
Yeah, they are whiny. And then you have a treat of hearing this unit, and you sort of say, do you want them to sound like that traditional sound, or something where you've got this incredible sounding that just sounds like the real thing? It's amazing. And I always sort of, when I do hear it, I'm like, oh my God, I want one of these,
I'd love to have that in my Blazer, but I can't, there's no more room. There's no room to put that.
It's a big unit, isn't it? It's
it's
a fairly large.
It's a fairly large size. Pretty much everything where it's the tinted windows is underneath there. It takes about half of the front.
Yeah.
And you've got, sorry, did we mention the rims on this? They're the, which ones again?
Yeah, Dick Capek rims from RC 4-wheel drive.
Really nice, eh?
Aren't they amazing?
Really nice, yeah.
I've seen pictures of those for a long time, and they're an exact replica of the actual, real, legit,
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez.
Yeah.
Really neat.
They're super scale. That's amazing.
And so you've got these on a set of what? What axles, or what stands are these? These are
That's the Keddy crawler stands.
yeah, those are nice. It looks good up on there,
I
doesn't
love it. Like I said, as soon as I saw this, I said, this is mine. I'm going to pay you after the show. yeah. I need a couple more sets of these.
Yeah, they really showcase the vehicle, so it looks nice. Paint job's good. This is probably a stock color that Tundra had, I would assume, or
Probably, knowing my buddy, there's probably a real, you could probably Google probably one of the bluish purple Tundra color.
right.
Yeah.
Really nice. Cool.
I'm into scale trucks, and I like building them for performance and all this stuff. And so, sometimes the Tamiya chassis doesn't really get me on the performance side.
Sure.
But I have a real weak spot for a truck that looks that good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
of course.
even if it's not going to go crawl comping and whatever,
Right.
the thing is so incredible looking, and the realistic sound, I don't know what it does, man. It just turns me back into a kid.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. I mean, the leaf springs on it, and it's so
awesome.
stock. It really looks well done. Kudos to you for getting it and showing it off. It's a really nice piece.
We should sign you up with some custom license plate.
Yeah.
Yeah. This California light space got to go.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Every Tamiya kid has this California license plate sticker. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they were good for a time and a place, but certainly we've surpassed that at some
You need a
point.
Canadian one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there are a few other little treats here that you've brought along with us. What else are we looking at?
Yeah, so these are, I just brought some of the newer ones that I got lately and
Let's
thought I
talk
would show
about
it
this
off.
cute little monster here.
Yeah, this is, I never knew this actually existed until I saw somebody was selling this and wow, this kind of looks like a neat truck. So I bought it locally. It's called the TLT-1.
So it's a Tamiya kit.
It's a Tamiya kit.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it has to be.
It's Tamiya saying.
That's exactly, yeah. So it's a 1/18th scale monster truck.
Okay.
This is not the stock body. It's actually an SUV body. It's called a Max Hill Climber, I believe, is the SUV style.
Okay.
But I didn't like the SUV body style with the monster wheel. It doesn't look right.
Sure.
So what I did, went to the local hobby shop and saw this body and said, this has got to be a perfect fit. It's made by Proline.
Okay.
It's a 1/16 scale body by Proline, and I think it's meant for the 1/16 Revo or Slash from Traxxas.
Yep.
So I saw, the detail looks pretty good, and the size good, so I went ahead and bought
Yeah,
it.
it looks nice. It looks really good.
Yeah.
That's the Ford Raptor?
Ford Raptor F-150 Raptor, right?
Right.
Yeah, so then I brought it home, and I lined it up, measured up before painting and all that. I was like, oh, this is perfect fit. And
It's
I got
really good, yeah.
Yeah. Got really excited and started painting right away, and about 2 or 3 hours later,
Sure.
this is what it looks
Here
like.
we go, yeah.
You've done a good job. It really looks nice. Now,
thank you.
let's just again go back. This chassis. What era of Tamiya? What what's it all about? I don't remember it. I think there was a gap where I wasn't really doing RC cars.
Yeah.
And I think this may have been in the years where I wasn't into it. So tell me what this is exactly.
Yeah. So according to the manual, it was printed in 2003. So it's about a 10 or 11-year-old kit.
Okay.
Right. So, and I only got back in this hobby. I'm not sure if you guys following the channel, but about 7 or 8 years ago.
Okay.
So even when I got back, this was before the time
Before
I
that
got
time,
back.
sure.
And I did, like I said, never heard about it until I saw there's an ad on this. I'm like, oh, Tamiya. wow. And then I did some research and go, this is not bad.
Right. The Tamiya word is the only word that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tamiya. Saying's interested. Yeah.
Yeah, so I went and picked it up like really cheap, and it's called a TLT-1,
Okay.
and it's a really nice. Here, I'll pop this body
Sure.
off here. What I really like about this, there's a few things. One thing is it's 1/18 scale,
Okay.
but it has all the 1/10 scale, I guess, electronics.
right.
So
Okay.
here's the full size battery pack fits
Right.
on there.
Right.
Full size motor. That's a Tamiya lightly tuned motor in there.
Yeah.
Belt driven 4-wheel drive truck,
Okay.
and I'm gonna make it. It also has an optional 4-wheel steering as well, so it's kind
Okay.
of like a clodbuster. And the only thing I have to do is put another servo in back here. I believe hook it to the same channel.
Sure.
So you have the 4-wheel steering on top of the 4-wheel drive.
It's an interesting piece, you know. I mean, when I
Yeah.
look at it, it looks horrible, to be honest. I mean, that does not look like a chassis whatsoever. But you know, they've managed to make it work. I've felt the suspension; it works well.
Yeah.
Those look like the shocks almost look like the Hilux or the Toyota dampener.
Yeah.
It does look
look-
like it, yeah.
Look and feel to them, but it's
Yeah.
an interesting build. And again, these axles were used. You were mentioning something about these axles, or
Yeah, I mean, before axial SCX-10 even came out, people were stealing these axles and building them into scale trucks. I mean, this is a tough little unit.
right?
And of course, this thing came out when Monster Truck was huge, right? The whole like no limit RC thing was going on, and there was the E Savage was out, so that the twin plate, you know, the Wheelie King sort of style,
of
right?
course, of
All those
course.
Monster Truck style trucks were kind of like the thing to have, right?
Makes sense.
And Tamiya came out with a huge one of these, right? The TXT.
TXT, yeah.
It's just huge and really strong monster truck. And then of course now they have those 10 years, 12 years ago, whatever, they came out with the TLT.
Yeah.
And it's a really solid,
Yeah, it is.
popular platform.
it's
And people
nice.
have been piecing them out for years to get drivetrain and axles and stuff to make scale trucks, and they're a great little unit.
Great. It looks really good. And then, you know, like the addition of what you've done, saying with this body here.
Yeah.
Yeah, really nice.
Yeah.
It's
Just-
really well done.
It's just classic monster trucks, you know, 100%.
And so to drive, does it handle well? Is it more of like the Wild Willie that we know?
Actually, you know what? It doesn't pull. Actually, if you go back and forward fast enough,
Yeah.
it will pull wheelie. But it's pretty stable because
Yeah.
everything seems pretty balanced. The weight of if you look at the motor is pretty much in the middle.
Okay.
The battery is, I mean, it's more in the back, but it's also significant weight towards the midline
Yeah,
right
sure.
there. The servo's in the front. So, I mean, weight distribution is
Yeah.
it's fairly balanced. So it's
Okay.
more like a real monster truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
As opposed
So it
to-
performs better
Yeah.
than the Wheelie Kings and
Oh,
so on and so
Yeah, I
forth.
mean those the Wild Willie was meant to be on two wheels.
Right, right. Yeah.
As opposed to this, which I think, and you know, I remember years ago when I first got back into RC as well, I've seen people actually racing these little buggers in a racing
Really?
class. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, putting 19 turn tuned motors in them and stuff, and really just pounding them, and they have obstacle courses and stuff. The miniature monster truck, you know.
Yeah. It's amazing. I love the hobby. It's awesome. And, you know, you think as you go through this, you know, you start to get tidbits of information, but it's always amazing that you can learn something new. And I've always been a fan of the Tamiya kits, and here's something that I didn't realize existed, and it's right in front of me. And so thanks, Sang, for bringing this, because this thing is awesome. It's just really neat to see these types of vehicles that I didn't know about, and now I do. So pretty neat. Awesome.
That's a clean find.
Yeah, it really is.
Like, it's not trashed or dirty or, you know, salt on the road or anything. It's clean. It's nice. It's worth having and driving around.
And this is what, 10 years old now, right?
About that, yeah. Based on
Yeah,
the manual, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So of course everybody knows that it's winter up here in Canada.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yeah.
So getting out on the trails and doing scale truck videos is kind of going downhill quick with the weather, but I think Sang has a solution here.
Yeah, so probably if you watch this, most of my stuff is more vintage collector, and I wouldn't dare to have it in the snow. So I said, winter is like 6 months here. I got to do something.
Yeah, of course.
You know, there's so much you could do with these indoors and that. So
Sure.
you guys recognize this right away. I'm not even going to say what it is, but anyway, I picked this up. It was well used or anything. It was just wasn't quite. I need to add my personal touch to it.
Yeah.
So it just needs some cleanup and taking the axles apart, relube them, just minor stuff.
Sure.
So I picked this up, and I was already painted red like that. So I thought, you know, the body kind of looks cool. So I've added a little more detail, some scale accessory, and added some electronics in there and winterize it, making sure it's like waterproof.
Sure.
And packed everything grease really good for the salt and that we get here in Canada during the winter.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is what I use here now for the winter. We go like scale video and stuff like that. This is my truck here at Rig because it's
Sweet.
fully winterized and it looks, to me, it looks really good and it handles really good. And parts are readily available, especially aftermarket parts, which I'm probably going to put a few on this in here.
Okay.
But the way it is there, I'm happy with it.
Yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised, one, it's not a Tamiya.
Yeah, that was
You know,
a little bit.
Like, I didn't realize that, you know, you had many other vehicles other than Tamiya. Mind you, you do have the Kyosho Scorpion, which is another beautiful piece. Actually, you should link that below.
Okay.
Video 'cause that's a really nice. But being winter, and I'm sure everyone's going to ask, why is there
The surfboard.
why is there a surfboard on a winter vehicle?
Yeah.
And it's kind of open to the elements. However, you know,
But
it is what
yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Right?
I mentioned like I didn't put a penny on this after. It's just
okay.
parts I got kicking around
Right,
the house. So
right.
the electronics, the motor,
right.
the spare tire, the wheels on here too. Like when I got this game with the 1.9 ripsaw tires and rim, they're good, great tires and rims by Axial, but
Stock stuff.
yeah, stock stuff. It didn't look good enough for me. It looks a little bit out of proportion, right? So I got these kicking around. So I put these smaller tires in there. And this is a surfboard that I got from you a few months ago. I got, you know what? I got to use a surfboard. I got to put it somewhere.
Somewhere, right? Yeah,
So
yeah, and put it in my winter vehicle.
Exactly.
However, I'm sure in some parts of British Columbia, Canada, you can in the winter surf, and this vehicle will be perfect. So you know there are probably some parts of the world where you can surf in the winter.
Well, yeah, this is all purpose. It has a construction stuff there,
it's
so
ready to
during
go.
the day
There
it's
you
a
go.
construction.
For sure.
And then after that, could go surfing. And the next day, you could go snowboarding, right?
Yeah,
in the
there
mountains.
you go.
It's all doable.
It's all
Camping,
doable.
Yeah.
off-road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, again, nice little runabout. Obviously, this one to over here, very show and shine kind of
Definitely
feel.
show and shine.
This one, obviously, your basher, your fun one. Looks great. It's really nice. Another nice pickup for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
I think everybody needs a rig like that, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. You need some of the ones that you want to show. You need some that you're gonna, you know, you're constantly working on them. They're work in progress. You know, you add a little detail here and there to them or whatever, and you buy a TLT that makes sense to add to your collection sometimes. But you got to have a truck like this.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, a great representation. Again, thanks, Sang, for coming by and showing us all your latest gadgets and Tamiya products. They're simply awesome. So nice work.
Oh,
This is
thanks for having me.
It's the first time I've heard an RC
Yeah, you know,
on the ScaleTalk.
really. Yeah, this is the only second time I've ever heard this unit, and every time it's amazing. And for those, if you ever have a chance, if you've got a buddy or if you join a club and someone's got this unit, you should hear it for yourself because it's pretty impressive.
So, just to clarify, you were telling me that that's unit number 2 or something, and they have different varieties for different types of things, right?
Yeah, they have for the tractor truck. It looks very similar, but different feature, different sounding, because obviously your transport truck's going to sound different. I've never seen it myself, but I know it exists out there, and it looks very similar with the lighting and all that. And the main thing, I believe, is probably the sounding of the tractor truck.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I've heard those on the on videos and stuff. The guys are building the 14th semis, and it doesn't sound quite. This definitely has a V8 kind of sound to it. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Well, again, really, really well done. Really nice.
That's a nice piece.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm definitely sort of. I appreciate Tamiya more every time I see one, just because of the quality of the bodywork, and you know. Who else makes a sound unit? Traxxas has one, but that I don't. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about that.
I've always been a fan of Tamiya. They've always done really good kits. They've always been awesome. So it's kudos to them. They've always been sort of leading edge and some really unique stuff. So.
Are you going to put a camera on this? Do some driving around winter videos?
Yeah, there's a lot of place. I could put it here like a GoPro mount on the top. I could probably put the GoPro inside here.
Yeah.
There's quite a few places. Yeah, definitely. This is my winter beater.
So I'll put a link below for Sang's channel in case you're not subscribed already.
Sure.
And he's already got a video of this monster out here in the snow.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure there's more to come, so that'll be fantastic.
Yeah, and I guess we're gonna be doing a few more winter videos now that the snow seems to be settling in. So
Yeah.
expect a few more videos of us with some trucks in the snow, hopefully.
I wonder if we should break out the rally cars.
Oh, that might be a good idea.
Hey.
Snow rally.
Snow rally. I like it.
Ah.
Yeah, awesome.
Okay, snow rally.
Yeah.
New project.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. Like we don't have enough. You know?
No, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So around here it's build season. So
Yeah.
what are you working on right now?
I'm working on the Ascender kit. Very excited. I'm transforming it into a 74 Ascender kit. It's going well. I'm
Cool.
knee deep into the interior. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is knee deep. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is
Yeah,
actually knee
that's a
deep.
lot of work. I'm working on my Ascender as well.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work trying to build a full interior for that.
Yeah, it's
and,
a big body, as we know.
it
So
is.
it's
Yeah.
a lot of work
There's sheets of styrene just flying off the
Yeah.
shelf there
Yeah.
just to fill it up.
for sure.
So what are you working on right now?
Well, this is what I've been working.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Yeah.
this one's the
Yeah.
way I got it. but-
Surfing, Kijiji, and eBay, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's working on.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
big project. I rather spread out, a little bit project here and there, and as opposed to you guys, big projects.
Right,
And
right.
so I'm kind of like little things, kind of finishing out, restoring that kind of stuff is what I enjoy doing. But in terms of manufacturing anything, I'm not quite there yet.
Sure, sure. Well, again, saying awesome stuff, really good pieces. Thanks for showing them off. We love having you here. Great stuff.
Yeah, well, thank
Good.
you.
Good to see you guys again.
Yeah, it's great.
Same here.
So, yeah, guys, comment, like, subscribe. Love having you. Love watching you guys out there. Yeah, awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.